Welcome to Game Builder Garage, a game about building games in the world's most yellow garage. It launched on the Switch on June 11th, 2021, and in the time since, a lot of great stuff has been made. In this video, I'd like to show off a bunch of that awesome stuff, while also discussing some of Game Builder Garage's shortcomings and room for improvements, because there's a lot of both. First and foremost, an issue: there's no built-in game finder, like, at all. As such, you have to share and receive codes via third-party places like, say, Discord or mygarage.games, a website that I used, which will have numerous links to in the description. That said, I went through and I downloaded a bunch of games and I played them and recorded them, and I realized that there was a lot to talk about. So I decided to split them into 3 different categories for the sake of my own organization. It's pretty arbitrary, but I decided to split them into recreations, original works, and proof of concept / demos. Starting with some recreations, there's Secrets of Ricco Tower, a short and simple platforming segment reminiscent of its namesake from Super Mario Sunshine. It uses a lot of Game Builder Garage's built-in platforming mechanics.
You earned a gold medal!
After that, we have Super Clean Man Demo, a super janky recreation of Super Mario Sunshine. You'll see that you can create your own custom movesets and your own sprites, your own textures. They made some really great sprites for Peach and the Tanuki and other stuff. And yeah, while I may call it janky, that is a term of endearment in this case. They did a great job recreating a interesting experience. That said, you're not just limited to 3D platformers, at all. You could totally make a 2D platformer like this, like Super Paper Mario Coin Hunt, which it looks pretty good. It uses some custom animations, and that's about it. Also super short is Paper Mario Engine V2, made by the same person who made Super Paper Mario Coin Hunt. Super minimal. There's literally 3 platforms, 1 enemy, and that's it. Because each texture, object, bit of code, everything is a node on. So the more complex and interesting it is, the less room you have for gameplay, something you'll find with a lot of different experiences. That said, you can have multi-game experiences, like for example, Garage Gear Solid, which was so well done. It really surprised me. Since you make your games node by node, you can also make things a bit less conventional, like Pokemon. There was actually 2 different takes on Pokemon. First called Pokemon Rival Battle, a short one which must have been hell because Game Builder Garage does not do well with very dense projects. Game Builder Garage gives you little option for working with a lot of stuff at once. You can't split things into different layers for viewable organization. You can lock stuff, but still, everything looks fairly similar. It's, I'm surprised they were able to do it. The other is Nostalgic Battle 3.2, which is a bit of a different take, and I don't know why I randomly evolved mid-battle, but it works. They recreated, sort of, Pokemon, which is really cool. Of course, there's also Super Mario Bros. 1-1, which was done by 2 different people. This one has some sort of weird looking physics, but it's playable and it's quite neat. The other, visually and movement wise, is way more accurate. It doesn't have any sprint, no enemies, there's no hidden sub level, but again, it's pretty cool. When it comes to working with sprites, you can create something that doesn't even look like it was made with any 3D, like Tetris. So I am aghast at how they managed to make it work, but it works really well. The fact that they actually made this node by node is astounding. The mindset of like, how did they do this applies to a lot of these games. Another being Friday Night Funkin' vs. Person 1.2 and then 2.1. In 2.1, they actually synced up the inputs to the background music selected, which must have been absolute hell to do manually. Another great example of that is Hello Pikmin, which is, again, quite janky, but it's so cool. As you run around, you could use the Joy-Con's motion control to pick up stuff, like for example the pellets, turn it into the onion, and then get a Pikmin to follow you around. You can only ever have one type of Pikmin following you, but you can throw the Pikmin, which apply elemental effects. It's not an exact translation of Pikmin, but either way, the blue Pikmins put out fire, the red Pikmins ignite the box of fireworks, and the yellow Pikmins activate the battery. For other recreations that are really cool, we have Mario Kart Balloon Battle, which I quite enjoyed, and also, I really hated the bots. I don't know how they made it work in terms of having other cars drive around and shoot stuff, but they did. And I kept having it where I would run into a bot and I would lose a balloon and then shoot my shell and then I would lose a balloon. Like, I lose twice? How is that fair? At the very end, Donkey Kong slipped on a banana peel and I won? How fitting. Resident Evil GBG teaser and the same but with RPD. How? Another pretty much feature complete experience is Flappy Bird, which is just Flappy Bird. Just like that one, it's very difficult, and I only managed to get like maybe 3 pipes in, but yeah. The other being VVV, a 2D platformer where you can invert physics. I don't actually know if this is a super accurate recreation. From what I've seen of V6, it looks very close, and I was able to get to the end, and it had my time and my deaths. Sort of a demo, sort of a recreation, I don't know. We have Super Hot, which has it where, sort of, time only moves when you do. And this was one of the first custom games I saw that made me go, okay, whoa, maybe Game Builder Garage has some potential. Also shoutouts to Legend of Zelda Garage. Last of the recreations I want to specifically call out are 2 Sonic-inspired ones. The first being Sonic 3D Green Hill 2.0, which is a pretty close recreation of the Sonic Utopia game. It's funny though, because this one is one where instead of controlling a player, like the person node on, you're controlling a car. So you have sort of car physics, which means it's very difficult to turn around. So it's a bit janky in that sense, but then again, so is Sonic, so I guess it's pretty accurate. The other Sonic one that I recorded was GBG Sonic Tutorial, which takes a more sort of Sonic Generations / I think Unleashed approach. Like, it actually works pretty well. On to proof of concepts, there's Drift Playground, which is super short but very well done. I don't like that it flashes every time you activate the Nitro/Speed Boost, but still, it's a 10 out of 10 for creating an actual drift mechanic when the car by default just does not have that at all. Same idea, Doom Eternal Garage 1.1. This is one of the few sort of shooters that I played, and they have 3 weapon types, grenades, a dash mechanic. It's so cool. Onwards, since this is a game about making games, someone of course had to make Minecraft. 2 someones did that, as it is. This version was made by Creeper Juice, and it's fairly visually dynamic. What you see here is what I made myself. I just forgot to record the actual building parts. That said, it is limiting in that you could only spawn a certain number of each block. Like, that's basically all of the glass you get. The other version by Carson only has 2 different kinds of blocks, but as a result, it's much less restrictive feeling when you're placing a bunch of those blocks. Also, I found that their targeting block indicator thingy was much more reliable when moving around. While you'll probably never get much more Minecraft in your Game Builder Garage game, I think it's really cool that this is even possible in the first place. Something that's important to know if you've not tried to program your own game in Game Builder Garage is that it's pretty difficult, not just because it is doing it node by node, figuring out the logic for each different kind of thing you want to do, but because the UI is a bit unfriendly. They don't tell you all of the instructions, and most importantly, for those awesome games like Garage Gear Solid, there's no way to copy code from one game to another. The only way being to take the game itself, make a copy of it, and then rework what is there into the second part and then the third part. So unless you create your own sort of template, it's impossible. So you would have to remake the textures every single time, redo every single bit of code. There's no way to save patches of code as functions, there's no way to save textures. It's pretty hard to get into making a game in Game Builder Garage. And if you're just going into it to play, for fun, it's difficult because there's no game finder, so you're just sort of at a loss, like, what do I do? And that's, I think, a huge issue, and honestly why, if it hasn't already, the game will definitely die off without much needed fixes and improvements. So yeah, it's cool, but the game needs some love. Anyways, we're approaching the last section of stuff to talk about, and these are all what I decided to call original works. Lastly, there's Little Puzzle Island, which I think is probably my favorite out of every single one of these because it's a puzzle game. There's no platforming. You walk around through this very scenic little building and you complete puzzles. I'm not showing any puzzle solutions to avoid spoilers because this is a Game Builder Garage game worth playing. If you're interested in playing this or any of the other games mentioned in this video, there will be a chronological list with codes in the description. I'm going to end the video here, so it's outro time. Big thanks to my channel members for their support, with a garage-sized thanks to Pseudonymous, Achilles Rhodes, and Captain Crayfish for being super fans. Thank you for watching this video. It was a quicker one than usual, but I hope the editing and the voiceover and all that was still like up to snuff. If you're interested in watching some of my other stuff, do it! Or don't. Either way. Have a great day. Bye-bye.